This is my tool post, or a tool post, a lantern tool post. The horror of the thought. Make sure there's no burrs on this surface. Just doing a little basic cleanup here before I take it over to the lathe. Here's an Atlas tool holder. Look how far that bit's hanging out. Somebody had some difficulties last time they used this. Be careful with this. I don't have much of it in the chuck, only about 5/16 of an inch. Lathe is useful for so many things, particularly working on a lathe. Does that make it a circular tool in the workshop if it only fixes itself? Perhaps for a little while. And I don't have a good way to use the lathe to polish the outside of this. We'll put some whey oil on here. Whey oil is a non-detergent oil. Detergent oils are hygroscopic, meaning that they pull water out of the atmosphere. So if you use your 10W40 that you got in a jug on the shelf that you'll never use again because no car seems to use that anymore, it'll cause your lathe to rust. Now before anyone scolds me, I'm not clamping onto this with the vise, I'm just using it as a wrench. And wrench works out handy. Now the action of clamping the tool down in here will tighten it in the compound slide. And we mustn't forget the all-important rocker. Provides a flat surface that pivots in this dished washer, has a curvature in it that matches the bottom of this rocker, and it lets us raise and lower the tool posts. Look through some bits I got here in the Logan tool hoard. See if I can find something useful for what I have in mind. Here's a good illustration of how that raises and lowers the end of the tool holder. Also notice my tailstock. I got my antique wrench in. This is a select forged steel, vintage forged wrench, 11/16, which is correct for this. And this isn't a fastener that we get really tight when we lock down the tailstock, so it doesn't have to have a very long wrench in here. So a stubby wrench, a short wrench, is just fine for that. So that's an improvement since I made the shop update on the old gray lady. We have our factory wrench here. I'm just going to snug this up temporarily. And we'll install the tool bit. I don't have much overhang there. In fact, for the cut I want to make, I think that looks about right. Just a quickie adjustment there. Now I need to work on these gibs. This is very loose. These are jam nuts. Here, let's turn the tool post out of the way here. Make sure all these jam nuts are loose. Wow, there's a hard one to get to. And I've got the carriage cross slide positioned so that the entire gib is against the dovetail. I don't have it overhanging when I make this adjustment. I'm just going in. Notice I'm just gripping the square shank of the screwdriver here. Let's see what that feels like. Okay. I can still move it. That's not tight enough. Notice these, okay, so there's a light snug, light snug, light snug, light snug. Well, that's a little too tight. Yeah, I can't move it, but it's definitely too tight. You know what, I'm going to come out and come in to just, not quite as much of a snug. I haven't taken this slide off here to inspect it. There we go. That feels right. It might get a little looser when I tighten these jam nuts up. Might be interesting to replace these fasteners with little T-handled fasteners if those are available. Whew, wow, they got tighter. So they must have moved with the jam nut. I wonder if I can turn these. I may not be able to get a good solid adjustment that'll hold itself until I take this apart and clean it good. A little bit snug. We'll see how that goes. Cross side could be a little bit tighter. Hard to tell how tight these are if I don't loosen the jam nuts. Close the door to get rid of the noise from the stupid box. Yeah, when you jam you turn the gib jams, it wants to turn the screw a little farther. And then it's a little tighter than you wish it was. You're going to find 30 degrees. That'll be close enough since we're not going to be doing any threading. I need a power tool here to run the chuck in and out. I shouldn't complain. This machine's going to work a whole lot faster than a file, which is what I had before. Let's see how true that's running. A little bit of wobble there. I don't have a lot in the jaws. Put a little bit more in. That looks better. Let's see how high that is relative to the work. It's way low. I guess I should put something round in here to set this. I think I need a spacer. Now I've got the tool holder running downhill a little bit. I bet you the top of it's supposed to be level, and this cutter's supposed to be tilted back. We're going to take a cut and see. I know that it needs to be in the middle of the workpiece. We will estimate that. I'm sure I should have put a piece of round bar in here to start, but we will gamble. You know, that looks ridiculous to me. I'm a little low. That tool up at an angle like that. I suppose it could be possible that it's supposed to be that way. I think we're going to find out not. Here goes nothing. First chips on the old gray lady. I'm going to lock down the... No, I don't need to lock down the carriage. What am I talking about? I'm here to touch off. I'm going to set this for about a 5-thou cut. Feed it by hand. It doesn't feel like it's cutting. Is that rubbing or cutting? I think that's just rubbing. Okay, I've flattened the tool angle. It's been a long time since I did any lathe work. On the vibration. Not taking a cut. Feels sharp. I have a tool with a radius on the end of it. Looks like a hand ground high-speed steel tool. We're going to give this a go. I've got a lot to learn. The lathe I used before was I did most of my work on, was set up with a quick change tool post, insert tool holders, all kinds of beautiful stuff I don't have yet. Let's try it again. And I think I'm quite a bit below center there. I'm way above center. Way above center. Let's get that spacer out of there. I wondered if these originally come with a spacer or not. I'm going to have to study. Not having any success.